Nottingham. It may not look like much, but it has an interesting history and many locals have spent the majority of their lives within the city. To the rest of the world, Nottingham is known as the centre of the Robin Hood legend, or as the home of the lace industry in the early 20th century. But there's more to it than that, and in this documentary we thought it'd explore Nottingham and its residents' thoughts on the city. Primarily, we decided it'd be interesting to find what's changed in recent history and how that's affected the locals, whether they think Nottingham's changing for the better or for the worse over time. It's especially interesting to explore this as a lot of Nottingham's attractions are relatively new, and older residents may not remember the likes of Victoria Centre, Broadmarsh Centre, the Queen's Medical Centre or the National Water Sports Centre from when they were younger. After exploring some of Nottingham's notable landmarks for a while, I came across a middle-aged man who was willing to discuss his thoughts on Nottingham.
Alright, so is it okay if we just ask you a few questions about Nottingham?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you live here?
I live just outside it.
You live just outside Nottingham?
Yeah, Upper Rotten.
Alright, how long have you lived there for?
I've lived there for the last 16 months.
16 months, and have you liked it?
I do like it out there, it's in the country.
Yeah. And where are you from? Scotland?
No, I'm from Northern Ireland.
Oh, Northern. So do you prefer it here or in Ireland?
To back home?
You prefer yeah.
That's a tough question. No, I do like it over here. I like Nottingham, it's a nice city.
Yeah.
But I prefer back home.
Yeah. Since you first got here, do you think you've noticed any big changes up until this point?
Not really. See, I'm involved with an organisation called Teen Challenge. It's a Christian organisation.
Right.
We're doing outreach today,
Yeah.
and we're reaching out to people. It's an addiction and things like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we were in Derby. We do outreach on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and we were in Derby before now.
Yeah.
But so I haven't really got to see any great change.
All right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's been
You
a
haven't
short
been here
period
that
of
long,
time
yeah.
now.
Well, do you think there needs to be any big changes?
I think, see, for people that's on the streets, the homeless and
Oh,
out
yeah,
there, I
yeah.
think that there needs to be a change there. I think
Yeah, yeah, there
there's stuff that could be done that hasn't been done.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, one way, and that's Jesus.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
What I learned from this man was interesting as he expressed that Nottingham has had an issue with the homeless that needs to be sorted. Before now, this wasn't an issue I'd been aware of. Maybe there is an underlying issue with Nottingham that needs to be addressed. Next, I found a young woman who spent her life in Nottingham. She seemed interested in answering my questions, bringing her own thoughts and opinions to the table.
Hi, you're right. Is it alright if I ask you a few questions about how Nottingham has changed over? Okay. So do you live in Nottingham?
I do, yeah.
How long have you been here for?
I've been in Nottingham since I was 1,
Since you were 1. So, how many years do you think?
17.
17. And since as far back as you can remember, what's the biggest changes that have happened?
I think it's a lot cleaner than it used to be. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner. A lot more sites like the contemporary, so like sites of interest.
Yeah. All right. And how has this affected you?
Well, there's more to do, which is always good. It's nice to live in a clean city. Yeah, it's just a better quality of life.
All right then. Is anything else? Any other changes you'd like to add on top of that? No? All right then. Thank you very much. Cheers. See ya.
A notable comment on Nottingham here was that it's cleaner than it used to be, something we hadn't found in our research. The man I interviewed following the woman had arrived in Nottingham fairly recently, only a year ago. His take on Nottingham may be a fairly refreshing one.
So, do you live in Nottingham?
Yeah.
And how long have you been living here for?
I came here on April the 14th last year.
Last year. Okay, so you've got here quite recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
So since you got here, do you think much has changed from then until now? Have you noticed any big changes?
Well, from my point of view, not really.
Not really.
The only thing happened is the bloody Brexit.
Brexit, yeah.
I'm Italian, so
Oh, right, okay.
for me,
Yeah.
completely different the way people see us, and that's
Yeah.
it.
All right, okay then. Well, so not much change that you've not noticed.
No, not really.
All right then. So, have you noticed much change in the people from now until then? I know it's not been very long, but
Yeah, I know. So, well, I really like people in here. They are really open.
Yeah.
They got wide mentality to accept everyone. But sometimes
Alright.
you feel a little bit stressed for this
Yeah.
situation.
yeah. All right.
Political.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much then.
No worries.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
He gives two viewpoints on Nottingham. The first was the impact of Brexit, which he thinks is a negative change, and the second was an opinion on the general people of Nottingham, suggesting that they are very open and accepting, something we had additionally found in research. After further exploring, I found a man claiming to work in Nottingham, yet living a few miles away from the city itself. He worked in Nottingham for 10 years.
So, do you live in Nottingham?
No.
No. Well, where do you live, if you don't mind me asking?
Carlton, 9 miles north of Nottingham.
All right.
Mining village.
In a mining village. All right. Well.
Mining village. Yeah, they've closed them now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, do you visit Nottingham a lot?
Yeah, I work here every day.
All right. How long have you been working in Nottingham for?
About 10 years.
10 years. And since you started in Nottingham, have you noticed a big difference, just in general?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So
mainly with restaurants and pubs.
Yeah. All right. What kind of things?
Better now. Because the
Yeah.
old lace market has really improved. It used to be just empty factories.
All right.
So if you're going out through the evening, it's fantastic now.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Victoria Centre looks good now, doesn't it, as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Broadmoor needs a lot of work on it.
Yeah. Do you think do you think these changes have affected you a lot? Like, if you know
What, in town?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot better. Yeah, much
Yeah.
better for myself.
Yeah. You enjoy the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And do you notice a big difference in the people from 10 years ago?
In some ways yes, in some ways no. I think there can be, if you come across youths, you think they're acting a bit like, they're probably quite streetwise and everything.
Yeah.
Showing face.
All right. Yeah.
Well, that's understandable, you know, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right then. Thank you very much for your time. All right then. Cheers.
What's interesting about this man is that he gives a lot of opinions found in our audience research, such as Nottingham generally improving visually, the Lace Market and Victoria Centre in particular, and states that Broadmarsh needs improvements. On the people, he thinks young people are more streetwise. Finally, I came across a man who had lived in Nottingham most of his life and has had some strong, rather negative opinions on the city, which makes a nice change.
All right.
So the rest of the city decays as well, and they got all these shops around here.
Yeah.
Have changed about 20 times in whatever time limit, you know.
Yeah.
The guy around the corner from here, he's got a big toy shop.
Yeah.
It used to be over there by the side of the ABC cinema, which has been gone 25 years as well.
Mhm.
Well, it was
Yeah.
where the city council building is now, inside the library. That's
Alright.
where his shop was.
Oh, now he's been moved over there.
He's moved around the corner in smaller premises, but I mean,
Yeah.
things have got smaller. The infrastructure's not there to keep the people
Yeah.
buying things around the place. Where the jobs are is where the money's gone to across the city, and so all of these things in crumbling. It's just crumbling it up a bit.
A few people we've talked to have said that the addition of all these new shops has been a really good part of it.
Yeah, but they might think that it's an additional thing, but where's the money going to flood back into this area?
And so, how do you think the people have changed a lot?
I think they've had to change. They've had to adapt to getting jobs. They've had to adapt to doing different things that they don't, you know.
The majority of what he had to say was negative, with his outlook being that shops had been replaced for the worse and people have lost their jobs. That's all we got out of him, but he went into detail on his thoughts, which was a good change. Doing this documentary helped us understand more about Nottingham and how those who live in the city feel about it. Before, we saw the home of Robin Hood, Lace, huge sports centres, transport system and media centres. Now we also see the homeless and unsafe back corners. It's not all negative, however, as we were made more aware of Nottingham's diversity and acceptance. But that's not all of Nottingham. There's still so much more to this city, and with such an interesting and complex history, covering everything is an impossible task. It's important for you to see the city for yourself, for you to decide whether Nottingham is a place that needs saving or a somewhat hidden gem.